Casey at Night will start in 30 seconds.
I got what you need, I got what you want, I got what you need. Tell them giddy up. I got horses in the back, trunk in the front, exterior red and that inside buttercup. I got what you need, I got what you want, I got what you need. Tell them giddy up.
Ladies and gentlemen, Casey Carter.
Okay, let me just say this. I'm going to blame my guest for the malfunctions in the very beginning of the show because we literally just got through talking about the fact that things go wrong during your show. But they never go wrong right in the beginning. I usually can get the show started before things go wrong. So, Cole, this is your
Hi.
first for the night because I'm sure
Yep.
I can blame everything on you for the rest of the night. But yes,
Yes, you can.
audio in two of my clips was not where it was supposed to be when it was supposed to be there. And here's what's crazy. So before I do my show, I always run an audio check. I run through all my scenes every single time, irregardless of whether it worked right the first time or not. I run through them all. Ask Casey. Casey, did you run through them today? No, I did not. Why? Because you were talking to fucking Cole. That's why.
Welcome to the Casbah Studios. We're magical that way.
So allow me to introduce you to the person who screwed up my audio for today. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, on my screen here it says Amanda and Cole, but they are really Ms. Amanda and Naughty Santa. And it doesn't say that on the screen, but just believe me when I say Ms. Amanda and Naughty Santa. And allow me to also say this visual right here is very deceiving because they are not that close in height. Okay. They are not that like that makes it seem like Amanda is, you know, model
Tall.
tall. So welcome, my friends, Ms. Amanda, Naughty Santa, aka Amanda and Cole. How are you this
Thanks.
evening?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Oh
Thanks for
no.
letting us fuck up your stuff.
First of all, I just if you follow me at all, and your asses better be following me. But if you follow me at all, then you've seen some videos, some pictures with Naughty Santa. Not as many with Ms. Amanda, but I actually found a little something that I created from Ms. Amanda. So, but let me first show you why you need to know Naughty Santa, okay? And y'all didn't know I was going to set this up, but watch this. Mm-hmm. Y'all didn't know
I
Santa's
love it.
into glitter. Wait for it.
Hell yes.
Wait for it. There we go. There we go. That right there.
Oh my god.
So, yeah, when you throw glitter around, you have to expect it's going to get in your mouth, your nose, your eyes. It gets it gets everywhere. I am still okay, hold on. in this. Hold on. I just picked up glitter off the floor. It's
our
fucking
biggest
everywhere.
our biggest joke is everywhere we go, every place we open the suitcase, every place I put on my Santa suit. Casey's here because there's glitter still with us always, always, always. I don't think we'll ever get all the glitter on my Santa suit, and I'm okay with that. That's
Good.
awesome. I'm good with that.
Good,
I
good, good.
sparkle.
I'm glad. That makes me happy. That makes me happy. But like I said, I don't have as much of me and Ms. Amanda, but I do have this.
Yep. Yep.
For
That was
those
the
rare
first time you had
moments,
guts in
I
it.
wasn't paying attention because that
Because
doesn't happen
Lorenzo's
often.
like, do it, do it, do it. And I'm like, okay.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
going to tell the funny story. The first time that Miss Amanda met you,
Uh-huh.
we were at Exotica, and you were over in your booth by the dungeon, and there was somebody that came over and wanted to get a picture with you, and you told them to get down, and then you told Amanda, sit here, and she's like, she was being Amanda. Ooh, she goes, what? And you go, sit. And she's like, oh, and she said when we left, she's like, I was paying attention then. I was paying attention then.
Yes, and the friendship was born. So do me a favor. Now that we've gotten caught up with each other, tell everybody exactly who you are and what you do.
You want to go? You want me to go?
You can go for
Okay, so we're a lot of things. So obviously Miss Amanda and Dirty Santa, but we're Casbah Inc. So we started off as swingers with Crazy Casbah, and we have kind of grown from there. So now we have Miss Amanda does obviously adult content as Miss Amanda the 5-Foot Firecracker. I shoot as Triple X Santa. We have Casbah Studios now, which is so other adult actors and actresses working with us. We have Full Swap Radio, which is a station strictly dedicated to adult and lifestyle podcasts. We have our own podcast, Crazy Truth About Swinging and Casbah's Rants. And we also then have award-winning national events.
Mhm.
Did I get everything?
I think
Pretty
so.
much. So yeah, so that's that. We're doing a few things. We're everywhere-ish. So the most popular thing is Amanda, obviously. I'm just along for the ride.
Whatever.
So wait. So and I was trying to find this picture and I didn't find it fast enough. But Amanda, just humor me. Let's talk about this body pillow and the significance of the body pillow.
Well, it's life. Because I'm just shy of 5 feet. And you can get a body pillow that's 60 inches, which is 5 feet.
5 feet.
And I'm like, well, look, and put a picture on it and you can just sleep with me. There you go.
And so here's what's funny is in our friend group, so we all go to Exotica together, right? And we
Yes.
all get there at varying times and we set up our booths at varying times.
Mhm.
And so the first time the Ms. Amanda body pillow shows up, full size, as she says, their booth was put together and empty, and the pillow was just minding its own business, just sitting there. And ironically, Lorenzo and I had seen the pillow and we're like, oh, look, Ms. Amanda, right? So later in our group text, there were people who had molested
I
the
feel
body
violated.
pillow.
I almost think your pillow got more action at that Exotica than you did. It shoots lined up.
Probably.
It got some use.
Probably.
Right from
It
the
helped
beginning.
when she sold it. It helped because she was able to say multiple porn stars had touched it, and that's the story we're sticking with.
Yeah, that had me dying because I thought the pillow was genius, and then I'm like, and there go our friends, just It
And if
kind of
I
tells you what
knew,
they're thinking, right?
and if I knew they were going to do something like that, I wouldn't have left it sitting out.
We learned a valuable lesson about not having all of our stuff out.
So the next time I didn't have it sitting out to where it could
Nope.
get molested again.
Okay. Smart. That's smart. That's smart. So let's talk about Full Swap Radio, because believe it or not, before we met, I had heard about Full Swap Radio because when I
Right.
met Michael from ASN Lifestyle Magazine, and we'll talk about that in a second too. But when I had met
Right.
him, he made mention, because he knew I was doing Casey at Night, and he had made mention that, there's I know someplace that you can put your show and la 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 la, and he mentioned
Right.
Full Swap Radio. Never at that time did we connect.
Right.
And I don't even know why. I don't know if this was during COVID or whatever it was, but we
Yeah.
didn't actually connect then. And I'll be honest, even once we met, I still didn't make that connection. It still never registered that, oh, that's who
Right.
that is. So talk a little bit more about what Full Swap Radio is. What would I hear if I were listening?
Right. Right. So we have a couple podcasts ourselves, and obviously one of the challenges with podcasts, especially in the lifestyle, in the ethical non-monogamy lifestyle, there's so many choices. There's a lot of noise, basically. And the philosophy behind it was one voice yelling is loud, 50 voices yelling the same thing is louder. I wanted to create a place where we could have all types of different podcasts in the adult and the lifestyle world, where people could, if you love my show, great, but while you're there listening, maybe you hear Venus with her cuckold show, or you hear Dear Nikki with her erotica, or you whatever, and you may find a new great show, or a new show with new ideas, because obviously, although I'd love to say our show's the best, sure for us, but everybody wants different types of things. So as we created it, it was primarily first for the swinger lifestyle, and then as our journey has progressed into the adult world, the logical concept was to also take Full Swap Radio that same direction and have both swinging shows and the adult world. And now we have some of the top shows out there, and we really do have such a mix from, again, erotica, uh, doctor shows with highly educational opinion shows, cuckolding. I mean, BDSM shows. Some different shows with porn stars that interview shows, the whole nine yards. So we have a wide range of options for people, and there's still a lot of room for growth, because it's a new platform for people, for both advertisers to be able to reach specific markets, for people to be able to listen, learn, and hear things maybe they never thought about. And then we still have Vanilla Sundays, which we just have regular shows. So like on Sundays, we've got a comedy show on there. We've got one that does movie reviews. So it's just a wide range of things, and it's again about educating and informing and pushing the concepts that there is more than one viewpoint, and making sure that people can easily find them. In a nutshell.
Which I think is I think it's a great idea, because I always say that there is no one person who's going to capture the entire audience. There's room for everyone. There's You and I could talk about the exact same topic, but there are people who are going to receive it from me that aren't going to receive it from you, and vice
Absolutely.
versa. So, I think it's great to be able to provide platform for whomever has something to say. And then I think it's also kind of genius to put that vanilla stuff on, because again, if you build it, they will come, right? So if you come
Absolutely.
for that stuff, you might get curious about the other stuff.
Well, and the reality is there's so many misconceptions about the swinger world that we just live and breathe it. Even swingers want to hear a sports show. Even swingers want to hear hearing something different. And the other avenue it does for us, our shows, Crazy Truth About Swinging, we're in our 8th season. And we're on our 6th season of Casba Rants. And just like a TV show, just like anything, shows have shelf lives, and the reality is that our shows is reaching that point where, probably in the next year, 2 years, Crazy Truth About Swinging is probably going to start dropping down to more of a quarterly show. And it still allows, Full Swap Radio still allows us to keep a very active ear and involvement in the podcast world and that avenue of the lifestyle. It helps us stay, we've been swingers for 15 years. It helps us to stay fresh and up to date and hear stuff. And it also allows us to stay in touch because there's shitty players in out there, and we're very adamant about who we do and don't let on the station. I mean, if you have a show that we feel like is just spewing myths and bullshit about what is the lifestyle, I'm not interested. And so it allows us to keep that in mind because we still have a huge following from our lifestyle world of about 145,000 people that we can still make sure they're getting the best information out there, and we can hopefully help steer folks away from those bad players.
Yeah, but folks are goofy, and
yeah.
we'll just leave it at that. We'll just leave it at that. So you mentioned what was the one with the name Rant?
Casba's Rant.
What
Yes.
is that?
Okay, so Miss Amanda does a wonderful job on Crazy Truth About Swinging of keeping me somewhat in check. When we first started Crazy Truth, our oldest son was our sound guy. He'd be like, "Dad, you can't fucking say that. You're going to get sued." And I'm like, well, if Disney's going to sue me, that means they're listening. That's good to listeners. I mean, that was my thought process. But Miss Amanda's always been able to keep me. She'll be doing a lot of thumping my leg. Like if I'm starting to head off into a path that's probably going to go where she's like, "Oh shit, he's gonna say something." Casba Ranch is my place to just. I have no adult supervision, and I am able to really tell it like it is because I'm a firm believer in sometimes you educate and help people by being soft and understanding and highly articulate in how you communicate with them, and sometimes you just tell them how it the fuck is, and which means you're gonna ruffle some feathers. And Casba Ranch is,
And I'm not allowed to disagree.
right, and she can't. Her opinion. I'm the only one in here, and so it allows me that. And ironically enough, it's been a great source of discussion amongst people that listen because people will go, "Cole, I like that point, but here's a different viewpoint." So it's given me an opportunity to learn because people understand with us. The walls go down. We don't pull punches. We don't know how to do that, and we're as real as it gets. So Casba Ranch is really an extension of if you were just hanging out in my garage and we're just having some drinks and talking, that's the way that conversation is going to go.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I want to talk about your upcoming Vegas events. So hold on one second.
Watch Casey Carter and her co-host, Carrie Anthony and Desiree on Exotica TV's BoobTube, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. on YouTube and Twitter at Exotica TV. Join the ladies each week as they talk about what's hot and what's not on TV, streaming, and in theaters. Don't miss them and Jay, the man behind the sound effects. Wednesdays at 9 p.m. on Exotica TV.
What could possibly go wrong?
Hold on. I'm not in the scene. I gotta add myself. Hold on. Here I am. Okay, so let me first real quick, Ancestry Cigars. If you know Casey, you know she is a huge cigar aficionado. Love a good cigar. And Ancestry Cigars is a brand owned by the lovely Enid Blanchard out of Chicago, Illinois. And I make a point of saying that because there are those who don't think women smoke cigars, should be smoking cigars, should have a cigar brand of their own. Now, granted, in the cigar circles, we all love and respect all of that. But there are things that men think are men, right? So so I just wanted to take that opportunity to highlight Ancestry Cigars and the forthcoming partnership with BAMF. And if you're watching Enid, you know my address. Send. But anyway, so you do these takeovers,
Right.
and we've talked about the fact that you're trying to get me into the cold fucking places of the world in the fucking
Yes.
winter. I
Yes.
was
Because
this
your
close. This close.
your listeners and viewers would love to see you go live from Crazy Winter Nights, the premier Midwest event. They want to see you there.
Can I be honest with you? Because we're
Yeah.
friends. We're friends, right? Yeah, we're friends. So
Yeah.
I mean, we've been talking about this for a few years, and this year I was definitely very, very close, very, very close. I had some work transition stuff happening in the month of February, and I knew it was probably wasn't a good idea. I mean, when I tell you I was on the verge of saying yes, so in November I had really kind of talked myself into it, and then sometime just before, excuse me, Exotica DC, I found out that my job was moving from one management company to another management company, and that was going to take effect in February. And that's when I knew, okay,
Right.
2025 is apparently not the year. But that's how close I was. That's so, and again, because I said we're friends, and I'm gonna be real transparent with you because I feel like I can talk to you this way.
Oh fuck yeah.
So the other reason I was really 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 contemplating it, I want to see how diverse it is, if I could be that honest, and I
Yeah.
wanted to see what I could bring to that, because in my mind, where this is, there's no black people, and I know there are, but in my
No, but
mind,
no, but you know, here's the thing. You are exactly right. Here's the thing with Casbah. Everything that is the established norms of the lifestyle, throw them out the fucking window. I'm a believer in Warren Buffett's from Omaha. I'm a believer in what he says. If you want to be successful, watch what everybody else is doing and go the opposite direction.
mm-hmm.
We don't throw frat parties. We don't have playrooms.
Oh,
We don't. We don't. We're at a hotel. If you want to go fuck, that's what hotel rooms are for, right? But the thing with it is, we want to have a place that if you are an experienced lifestyler, you're going to feel comfortable there. If you're brand new, you're going to feel comfortable there. Someone getting their dick sucked in a hallway and you're brand new is not going to make you feel comfortable. Getting the hotels and through predominantly in the past, especially in the Midwest,
mm-hmm.
lifestyle events are at these shitty divey hotels.
Right.
We're not. To give you an example, this hotel is very close to, it's in Kansas City. It's close to Arrowhead. It is actually the hotel that the Kansas City Chiefs stay in the night before home games. So we, we're raising the bar. We had a gentleman that came. They have a couple clubs in Kansas City, and he came up to one of my head of my staff and said, "How does he do it?" because Kansas City swinger events and a lot of places have issues. We don't have issues because we raised the bar. The Casbah way, like there's no gray area with the Casbah way, and that's, people know what to expect. They know what the expectations are, and we are beyond rigorous in how we enforce them. We have things like safe tables at our events. So we came up with the concept of safe tables so that we have a place that it's manned by our staff that you can check your drink in if you're going to go to the bathroom, go dance, whatever, to help
Okay.
fight the problems of being roofied. If you forget, you can bring your drink up. We can test it on the spot for you. We have security. We have this, we have things marked. We have a large staff. We've been doing this for 8 years, and the hotels even go. It's amazing afterwards. They're just like, weddings aren't as calm as your event with 6, 7, 800, 1,000 people, and people know if you don't adhere to my rules, you're not just asked to leave. You're banned for life. And in turn, we are about inclusion, which means we want, so many times in the lifestyle, it's the weirdest thing. Find how many gay couples you find in the lifestyle events. It's not very many because a lot of times they're not welcome. You know what?
Right.
No. At our event, it doesn't. We want everybody to be there, and everyone, when you leave, you should have an experience that is safe, that is fun, that is inclusion, that is relaxed. And if you don't, there's only one person whose fault that is, and that's mine.
You
And,
as in
and
you, Cole.
me as in me, as we have a staff, but the bottom line is ultimately Casbah is our baby.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy Winter Nights is our crown jewel, and we take your experience at Crazy Winter Nights and all of our events extremely personal. That's why we've cut down where we have 3 main events: Crazy Vegas Nights, Crazy Summer Nights, and Crazy Winter Nights. We would rather focus on an event that takes a year to plan, to put on the top quality event that causes people to travel from around the world to attend because of what type of experience they're going to get, versus having 20 events through the year that are half-assed. We just won't do it. Sorry, I get totally. You can tell that Casbah's touching the
You're
table.
passionate.
Quit touching the table.
It's Casbah is our names. Cole,
Oh yeah,
Amanda,
we've
Sebastian.
talked about that, right?
Yeah. So it's Cole, Amanda, Sebastian, Brian Holden. So when we're putting literally our name on your
Mhm.
experience, and if you don't have your name, you don't have anything.
Yeah, that part right
Sorry,
there.
that was a long-winded answer. I apologize.
No,
You talked about
no.
it for a while.
Listen, like I said, I wanted to talk about it because I know you're doing. Well, let me before I say what you're doing, let me first say what you're doing is around my birthday and Ms. Amanda's birthday. And Miss Amanda, when is your birthday?
The 13th.
And how old are you going to be?
16th. So, literally, the reason why I'm not going to Vegas, because I'd have gone to Vegas. Yeah, I'd have gone to Vegas. But it's my birthday weekend too, and we're going to Puerto Rico. So, but
We're going to you. I don't know that yet. We're just going to surprise you there. Hey.
yeah, you would be an absolute zombie, I'm sure. But so is there a difference between Vegas, winter nights, summer, whatever you said? Like what is the difference, or is there a difference in these 3 events?
Massive difference.
Oh, do tell.
Well, because Crazy Summer Nights is a clothing optional campground that we take over. So it's not quite the same scenarios, more outdoors, obviously, and you can run around naked and no one cares.
Oh.
The principles are still there, but it's more of a Crazy Summer Nights is more of a laid back event. It's we have people that hang out at their campsite the entire weekend. Some that do activities. We just kind of have, here's a platter of things you can do as thou wilt, sort of thing. And it's more laid back because there's some people just love the chance to spend a weekend being in the great outdoors and being naked.
Okay, so wait. I'm just gonna pause. I just want to make
Mhm.
sure I understand. We're talking. You said campsite, campground. Like what? Say it again.
Mhm.
Yep, yep.
A
It's
clothing optional campground.
Okay, I'm not coming. Not because of the
they
clothing
have
optional part.
we have
I don't.
cottages.
Oh,
There's a
They
few
have a
cottages.
couple cottages. They
okay.
rent out like an RV. Then you can rent an RV if you'd like to have more posh lifestyle, or you can pitch a tent.
Fuck a
Yeah.
tent. No, not doing that. Mm-mm. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Don't-
Go ahead. Go ahead. Pick up where you
we're
left
not
off.
either. Don't worry. We usually see one cat.
Stay in a tent.
Cole would
Vegas
not fit
nights.
in a fucking tent. He couldn't lay down
No,
in a tent. He couldn't stand up in it. You'd have to get one of those Arabian night tents.
I couldn't. I would have to roll out of it, and once I'm down on the ground, I'm staying there for the whole weekend. Just come drag me to the car when it's time to go home. I'm too old to do that grind. I did that Boy Scout stuff a long time ago. That crazy Vegas nights is really we work with Whispers with Vegas nights, and it's more of a hey, we're gonna be here. The club is still open for their regular people because we've got a lot of people that live down in Vegas and people that fly in, and it's just like hey, we're gonna have we just kind of intermingle within the Whispers group. Whispers, it's a wonderful thing for Amanda and I because what we they don't want us to do any of the work. They have their own staff, they have their
Mhm.
folks, and really all we would be is in the way, so we just get to have fun, which is great because with crazy summer nights and definitely with crazy winter nights, we don't people go, oh, you guys must play at your events. We don't ever play at our own events because
Mhm.
if something were to happen, if you needed something, you're my guest and you need to be able to reach us at any time, any place for help. So that's the top priority. But at in Crazy Vegas nights, we kind of get to we get to be the tourists also, so to speak, which is fun. And then Crazy Winter Nights is the Saturday night part of that is our black tie optional formal. It is not a fucking swingers prom. It's a gala. It's a formal. Uh, we do have a couple of awards that we give out every year: the Casbah Lifestyler of the Year Award, the Ernest Britt Memorial Award, and on rare occasions we do give out the Lifetime Achievement Awards. So it's KWN, from the time you get there till the time you leave, there is stuff going on, structured. There's stuff going on. You can pick and choose what you want to do, but you're going to walk out on Sunday morning going, holy shit, I'm tired. That was amazing.
Mm.
Crazy summer nights, you're going to walk out going, that was the most relaxing weekend I ever had. Crazy Vegas nights, we can't tell you because what happens in Vegas stays in
Stays in
Vegas.
Vegas. Okay. Okay. So, it how do wait, hold on. Let me set this up. So, if folks want to go to this event,
Mhm.
like website link, like how do they just get to you and any of this info?
Excellent question. Do you want to? I feel like I
Go
know.
ahead.
Okay,
Well,
great.
you do a lot of talking.
No, so you can actually go to our main website, which is crazycasbah.com, and everything in our world's with a K. So KRAZYKASBH.com. And you can see, you can get information on all three of the events. That's where you can buy tickets for all three of the events because obviously everything is done online directly through the website. We don't ever sell tickets at the door. Things do sell out fast. Just to kind of give you an idea, it's June 4th, I think, or something like that right now. We're halfway sold out for KWN already this coming year.
Wait, hold
So
on a second.
things,
Whoa, pause. You're halfway sold out for the event for 2026,
yes. Mhm.
and that's still
We
in
will
February.
it's January 30th through February 1st this in 2026. And then we have already locked down the dates in the hotel for 2027 as well, which will be the 19th through the 21st of February.
So again, I just want to reiterate: halfway sold out for the event for next year,
Yep, for the January 30th through February 1st. Yep.
which
Yep.
should tell people something, right? Like the
Yes.
fact that it's just June 4th. Just
Yes.
it's barely June, y'all. and they're already halfway sold out. So clearly it's a very popular event. And you said kind of casually and really quick about how many people show up for this event. I want you to say it again deliberately about how many people show up for Crazy Winter Nights.
So last year was our first year moving it to Kansas City, and we had 663 people.
Okay.
We had 3 countries represented and 41 states represented.
Mm.
And this year we're anticipating between 700 and 900 folks to attend Crazy Winter Nights this year. So once
And
once the main hotel is sold out, then we'll be able to help you point in the directions for additional hotels.
so tell me a little bit more about what I can expect at Crazy Winter Nights, because again, like like I said, I want to sneak in and see what the fuck's going on. So what because we've talked offline about
Right.
how you do what you do. So I'm curious for the folks who can't say they're curious. I'm curious for them. What the fuck is Crazy Winter Nights? Like, what am I gonna do if there's no playrooms? What
Right.
are
What are
we
you gonna do?
doing?
So the joy of Crazy Winter Nights is we have a very large vendor fair. We have seminars going Friday and Saturday, which are put on by professionals in multiple industries. Which I'll come back to the seminars in just a second because there's a huge sweet spot for me. Multiple meet and greets, and mixer events. We do some fun speed dating events going on. We have some game areas set up, so things that people, if they want to interact themselves. We have a Friday night dance, which this year the Friday night dance theme is the glow party, and then the Saturday night is the formal event as well. Plus, some of our sponsors will put on uh, mixer rooms. All of a sudden, I can't think. It's my first. I've never been there before. Um, but I wanted, the vendor fair. The unique part, like with the vendor fair, is we have vendors that are not just sex related. We're big advocates of promoting lifestyle businesses or adult businesses, but also businesses, vanilla businesses owned by members of the lifestyle. So we have a wide range of products. Amanda, hold up, show the light back here.
You gonna do the dungeon again?
Yes, we will have this year. We will have a smaller dungeon this year, which will have seminars on that as well. Yep, hold on. This is one of our vendors from this year. Made us these cool signs, just as an example.
Yeah, I was gonna say turn it around.
Perfect.
Yes, thank you.
Yep.
Well, on our screen it's
Yeah, no, I got
And
you.
then
I got you.
and then the seminars, and here's the thing with the seminars. So many adult events have the very traditional seminars. They're sex seminars, and we appreciate that. But there's more to it than that. So, to give you an example, we have one couple that they have a martial arts dojo in Illinois that they come in and they do a seminar on self-defense. But it's tailored. We don't have them do it on self-defense, like how not to get mugged walking down the streets. They have a specific program designed for how to deal with situations that you might encounter in the lifestyle, like she gets pinned in a room, things like that. So very practical. We have Dr. Roberts. He is actually Miss Amanda's hormone doctor that comes in and talks about hormone replacement therapy and the need for the dealing with menopause, because obviously it's, again, something that's it affects a lot of members of the lifestyle.
Erectile dysfunction for men.
Exactly, an erectile dysfunction for men. We had last year we had a tenured professor from a major university here in the Midwest come in to talk about cybersecurity, how to keep your lifestyle profiles and pictures safe online. So, and then we also have rope seminars. We have other, seminars as well. We have a therapist come in that talks about her session has been amazing. She's my personal therapist, so she's actually incredible. Coming in and talks about jealousy in the lifestyle, and the goal with these seminars is there's nothing wrong with having a class on how to give a better blowjob. That's great, but there's more to it. And if you offer people different options that they really would use in a day-to-day world,
Mhm.
and options that maybe they're afraid to go seek out themselves, you can make a huge difference. And ultimately, Crazy Winter Nights is about making a difference in the lifestyle and in the attendees' lives. And that's what we try to do with the seminars, with the events, and everything we do with it.
And I let me say this. I love when there are multiple options for learning. Because again, like I said earlier, everybody's voice is calibrated for a specific set of ears, right? So, you know, to hear different perspectives, to hear different knowledge bases on a singular topic, it just brings a different level of awareness that I think is really, really vital. Because, you know, I will say this, I still have a vanilla job. And
Right.
the things I encounter from people who profess to be in the lifestyle or who profess to be kinky, who, you know, whatever, the things I hear them say, I'm like, I could wring your neck right now based on what I'm hearing. Or, you know, just the absurd things or the things that people believe. You know, I have, there's a, okay, real quick. I have a vendor that I deal with, and she knows who I am. She knows my government name, and she knows me as Casey. And we, you know, we talk about stuff, and I've lately had to tell her, please don't handle me that way when we are at business events. And I found out that, you know, some of our fellow vendors know she's into what she's into. And I'm like, okay, cool. But they don't know me like that. I haven't introduced myself to them like that. So let's you respect my space. I don't care what you tell them
Yes.
about you, but respect my space and
Yes.
let me
Yes.
be me the way I want to be me, right? And so in dealing with folks who aren't as far into being in the lifestyle, to being a swinger or to being kinky or whatever that is, it's fascinating to me. You can identify them because they don't have the same regards for
Right.
your experience and how you live that part of your life, whether you live that full time or whether you live it part time. They don't, there's a disconnect, and I don't want to call out or go all out and say a disrespect, but just this disconnect. So I think
Right.
the education is really, really key because there isn't enough education. There's just folks who find a particular lifestyle interesting. Therefore, they get themselves involved in it without a
Yes.
full understanding of what it means to be involved in it. And so I any event that offers education, quality education. Let me not just say education because
Right.
some folks offer education just to make it so that they're not a sex show. But any place that's offering quality education and depth of education, not just superficial stuff. Like I went, let me tell you, so there's an event down here in Atlanta called Sex Down South. The very first year I went to a fisting class. Where in this world are you going to go somewhere and they're going to do a fisting class?
Right. Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
Yep.
like, oh, that's my shit. I'm not fisting nobody and I'm not trying to get fisted. But oh my God, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for folks who are gonna they're gonna show you the things that you be looking at when ain't nobody looking at you. And you
Yep.
secretly want to try.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, and
Yep.
before you rip out somebody's internal organs or fuck up their asshole and it all just falls out.
Spewing.
So
Well,
you know, I can appreciate bringing quality education to the event because it's important. You know, I mean, the more folks we can educate, the fewer folks we will damage.
exactly. Well, and there's a huge push. The lifestyle, as we've naturally progressed on our own journey into the adult world, there's so many people that want to do this, and I think you'll appreciate this anecdote that I use, Casey, just because I think you will. When 50 Shades of Grey came out, every swinger watched that movie and
Mhm.
ran out and picked up anything they could and started hitting each other with it. They had, oh, here's a stick, whack. They had no idea what the hell they were doing.
Mhm.
And so we've always tried to bridge that gap. The new gap like that is every swinger's like, I'm going to take cooter shots, put it on OnlyFans, and I'm going to make a whole bunch of money.
Mhm.
We feel like, as part of our job in the lifestyle, as industry leaders, as leaders in general, is to help people have a realistic understanding, which means having classes to explain, hey, look, I know this sounds like a great idea right now. I mean, we do this with Casma Studios when somebody want us to get into the porn world. I know it sounds like a great idea right now, why Junior's 2, but you know what? When Junior's 13 and his kids find your OnlyFans account and walk up and go, is this your mom's cooter? There's
Right.
going to be, once you put it out there, it's there forever. So we
You got to be
have a
ready for that.
response. We have a responsibility. Our people are looking to us because we've always preached community and family.
Mhm.
Are looking to her and I to go to be leaders to present that. Now, whether you choose to go ahead and do it or not, whatever, but at least somebody's trying to give you a realistic
Right.
set of what this is. That, you know what, you're not going to get rich overnight putting a dirty video on OnlyFans. There's, what does it really take?
Right.
Not trying to sway one way or the other, but to educate,
Just create
because
some reality.
that's,
Yeah.
yeah. I think it's, we all have a responsibility in the adult world, because look, here's how I look at this. We're all one tree, right?
Mhm.
BDSM is a branch,
Right.
voyeurism is a branch, the adult porn community is a branch,
Right.
swingers is a branch. We're not that fucking far off. We're just different branches.
Mhm.
But we have a responsibility to help each other
Mhm.
to, if you want to experience that other branch, to have the best possible experience with it, and to educate. And those of us that are not, I'm not us, but people that are leaders in the industry, have a responsibility to try to help people. And we want to try to do our small part wherever we can.
Yeah, and believe it or not, that is in essence how Casey at Night even got started. I was trying to promote what I did as an erotic writer, and then I started promoting other erotic writers because I realized, well, shit, there's nowhere to promote your writing. So if I'm gonna do
Mhm.
mine, I'm gonna do yours too. What the hell? I mean, I'm out here, right? And
Yep.
then that evolved into people wanting to know more about the things that we talked about in our stories. You know,
Yep.
when you start talking about bukkake and
Yep.
you know, I just like to say bukkake. But when you start talking about things like that, people are like, "What? How do you okay, like how do you spell it? And what the hell is that?" Um you know, I did there's an author, I can't remember his name, but he wrote a book called Harem Boy. And when I read an excerpt from his book, I'm like, okay, these are things you think you don't hear about in movies and whatnot, but to read a book on this idea that there are young boys who go from India to England to be educated, and then they become they then find themselves in service after being groomed, literally groomed to do this job. So it's really fascinating how topics can evolve from an educational perspective where you can start here and gradually work your way over here because one, you are open to talking about it and to being transparent, and as I like to say, kind of pulling the covers away, ripping the
Yes.
curtains open, you know, making it real and not something that is a secret or something that you only talk about behind doors. And I think that's the beauty of events like, you know, Crazy Winter Nights, where you can have conversation and experiences
Yes.
that allow you to, you know, see things that maybe you've only heard of, fantasized about, and then get that. What I like to say is that, you know, I tell people you don't always, like, if you go to a sex club or something like that, you don't always have to participate, or at least pick the club where you don't have to
Right.
participate. Go
Right.
to the BDSM dungeon where you don't have to participate and you can just watch, and it's okay, because you're never going to really know if that's your thing if you don't ever get to experience it.
Okay, so you'll laugh at this. I'm going to tell you two stories on a dungeon, and you'll appreciate this. The first one's a funny one. Actually, I have to say this while I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
Your next video that you and I shoot at Exotica with glitter is going to be called Glitter Bukkake. Just saying. Okay. So excited. Anyways,
I'm
the
gonna
very
work on
first
how to make that specifically happen. So
we yeah we'll talk on this.
yeah.
So the very first kink event we went to, a friend was putting it on, and I still smoked at the time, and I was gonna go and have a cigarette, and so my friend was going to go smoke. Yeah, we're gonna go out and smoke, and there was a table filled with cookies and juice.
Okay.
If you know me, I'm rather a portly fella. I like cookies. That's why I do Santa. And I walked over, hey, you guys gonna grab a cookie? My friends were looking at me like I've lost my ever loving fucking mind. I grabbed 2 cookies and we go to the elevator. We get on the elevator, eating the cookies, and I'm like, you guys don't want a cookie? They're like, idiot. Those aren't just snacks for people. That was for aftercare. I didn't know. I just saw cookies and thought it was hors d'oeuvres. So that, that's my story. But the unique part, like with the BDSM world, is that for me, I'm not a kinkster. There are times sound alone. I can't handle it. Like literally, I know everybody, I've watched everybody, they've negotiated the scene, everybody's fully consent, everything's all across the board. The sound alone, like of a paddle, right? A paddle, something along those lines. It literally will make me nauseous.
Okay.
And the reason that's important with this is that I know what I don't know. And I know that if I feel that way, we're pretty good now. When you first get in the lifestyle, we call it the sore arm. You go to an event and you're like, are you seeing this? Look what they're doing. Look at them. And the first time for us when we went to a BDSM event and saw it, was like, I think I'm better now not having like my face going, that shock, like what is that? But I understand what I don't know, and that means somebody else feels the same way.
Right.
I'm fortunate enough to be in a position I can turn to somebody that does know. I can reach out to you. I can reach out to learn. I can reach out to other people and go, what is this? What is this okay? Is this something that can explain it? Not everybody has that. So I can't teach it, but I know people that can.
Right.
And I can help someone else have that question. You're going to say something I rudely interrupted because I was talking about cookies.
No.
Okay, never mind.
Okay, I just want people to know Ms. Amanda does actually talk. She does actually talk. Just saying.
Not when he's around.
We talk about Cole a whole lot. So listen, I'm down to like my last few minutes. I want to talk about. I keep saying naughty Santa, but apparently is it dirty Santa, naughty Santa, dirty Santa,
dirty Santa, and whatever. You can call me whatever.
Okay. Badass Santa. I don't know.
Wait till you see my new tattoo.
So let's talk about that. Because first of all, it tickles me to be at Exotica and to see you in this Santa suit, especially like right now. Like let me be completely honest, friend.
Mm-hmm.
It took a minute for me to realize, because Amanda says it every time she talks about getting you white, getting your beard white and your hair white. But for whatever reason in my mind, I just ignore that and just believe you look like this all the time. Like you always have a white beard and white hair. Because I don't know if I just need that because I'm so used to seeing you like. And here's what's crazy. I see you without it on and I see you with it on, but my brain doesn't register this version of you. It only registers the Santa version of you. But I love people's reaction to seeing Santa at
Yeah.
Exotica, and we're still working on making you like an official Santa one year. But
Well,
I love that. Where does that come from? And you got to be quick on this because I got to get off.
okay, so initially I did Santa as real Santa because it was something my mom always said I should do. I was at a Walmart one night. My beard wasn't this long. And I was running through this Walmart and I was looking for something and had my glasses on and I looked over and this little kid sitting in a cart and he goes, Santa, and points at me. I went, and I came home that night and bought a Santa suit. So I
Ah.
did regular Santa. And then the people in our group, how many women wanted dirty pictures with Santa?
Mm. Mhm.
If I'd have known this, I'd have bought that fucking suit 20 years ago. So, I mean, but the response, what's funny is I'll go do a regular Santa event, and you think about it for a little kid, right? If the most famous person you'd ever want to meet,
Mhm.
well, for a little kid, that's Santa. So
Right.
you get that response. But adults, everybody still wants to be around Santa.
Mhm.
And there's them in our Santa fantasies. And a lot of the family said, "Hey, you should shoot." I'm like, nobody cares about that. They said, Google Santa porn. So now the thing is, we're working on besides just shooting because I want to be able to provide for models and whatever to get their dirty pictures with Santa because a lot of people that do Santa won't do anything adult.
Mhm.
So even just like the pictures, shooting is just an added bonus, but
Right.
also advertising. So, companies that you want to do that advertisement with Santa, well, you're not going to find a good Santa. Most of it will do adults, and that's what we want to do. And it is a ton of fun. I mean, she hates it because she's not a fan of facial hair, and so I used to in January cut my beard way down. Now my beard stays long the whole year. Of course, my hair is pulled back in a ponytail, but um, yeah. So it is a ton of fun. It is amazing. I think in Chicago the first night we probably had 100 to 150 adults come sit on Santa's lap the first
Yes,
night,
I
want
heard the
just to get a
stories.
picture.
I heard the
Yeah, we had
stories.
a few. We had a few. We had one guy that picked Santa up. That guy was huge. He swept me off my feet, six
Wait,
foot, 300 pounds, like I was
wait, but
nothing.
wait. Let us be clear. When you describe that guy as being huge, you are no
No,
you.
yeah, no, 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 no. I'm 6 foot tall, 298 pounds.
This guy was like 6'7" and probably just extremely
That
muscular.
dude was
Just
ripped. He was standing by my retractable and gonna get a picture. Go, if you're gonna get a picture of Santa, you got to get a picture of the real Santa. He goes, you sit on my lap. I said, okay. He sat down in my chair, and I was just stepping closer to him. He literally scooped me up like he would scoop a girl up off her feet, and's laughing. I'm like, oh God, don't
and
drop
bounced.
Santa, and bouncing me, laughing, taking pictures like I was nothing. I was like, wow, that was impressive. And then all the girls didn't care about me anymore. It was really weird.
Right,
I just
right,
followed
right.
them around.
Now they wanted to get in line to get scooped up and
Scooped
bounced
up.
around.
They're like, Santa, can you do that? No, Santa's hips hurt. No, I can't. Santa can't do that. Thanks.
Well, I know it has been tremendous fun for me to, basically step on your, we're live. I won't say, but if
Yeah.
you've seen the pictures, you know what I put my foot on.
Santa follows orders very, very good. Just saying.
Well, and let's be honest. Let's be honest. I got consent. I didn't just
Yes, you
put
did.
my foot there. I got
Yeah.
consent and was
You
respectful.
yes. And for anybody that sees Santa out in public, let me just put this announcement out there. Please, for the love of God, remember, Santa's an older gentleman. Sit slowly. When the girls start about a foot up and just drop, I'm not as young as I used to, and by the end of the day, that hurts. Or when they just swing back to lay out, and they've got a hold of my neck. Santa's not as young as he used to be.
And here's what's funny because when I eventually make my way over to you to get my millions of photos, because we're friends and I know this, and Amanda and I talk about whatever just happened to you. I'm sitting there going, okay, All right. How do you hold your own weight so you can get these photos and not break him in the meantime? But listen, you and I have so much fun with the
We did.
glitter, with taking photos. This last time I rode you like a pony.
Yep.
Lorenzo didn't get
Yes,
all the
yes.
video. He got photos. He didn't get all the video. But I really, just my own personal experience of interacting with you at Santa. I think there is genuinely some varying varying fantasies, right? Like, for some of the
Yeah.
women it's wanting to, you know
Yep.
with
Yeah.
Santa. I know for me, from as the person that I am, it's wanting to dominate Santa respectfully, wanting to
Right.
dominate Santa because I still want my gifts, so I'm not gonna really go
Right.
all out. So, but I think deep down inside, we're all trying to have our fantasy experience with Santa. So I love that you bring that to Exotica because it provides a different experience, and it's pretty cool. So, but
it, it
before we
it's
go,
it's a ton of fun. Tons of fun.
and I'm glad because I don't want you to stop doing it. I don't want you to stop. But before we go, what do we need to tell folks about how to find you, about whatever? This is your chance. 60 seconds. Go.
Say your stuff first.
You do it really
Okay,
fast.
so you can reach us for our main events at crazycasba.com. You can find Casba Studios at casbastudios.com. You can find me at xxsanta.com. FullSwapRadio.com. Full Swap Shop is our merchandise store online. You can find Miss Amanda at missamanda.net. Make sure you follow, get all of our merch. Calendars are available soon. You can now get advertising on the pre-orders for the 2026 calendars. Reach out to us. We'll be happy to help you out with that. You can also check out our other performers, honeybee.com or .net, excuse me, savorysunflower.net, and our newest male talent, MrLmeat.com. Check them all out, give them love. You'll see them. You'll be able to meet us at Exotica. If you go on our websites, the individual sites, you'll see where we're located at. So you'll be able to find us. You'll be able to find Miss Amanda when she's back out at the ranch, where she's going to be. So you can see her all over. Check us out today. Check out our shows. I promise it's fun. If it's not fun, we don't fucking do it.
And let me just say, so when we go to Exotica at the end of the weekend, we do this big family dinner thing. And I made the table mad because I got calendars from both Amanda and Cole, and
Yep.
I forgot to pull out the calendars so that I could show folks the calendars. But get you a calendar. Is all I'm saying. Get
Yeah.
you a calendar.
Yes.
Because
Yes, and I'm doing one again this year too. Supposedly the girls said I have to do one too. So it's not as sexy as hers. You want the Miss Amanda calendar? That's hot.
But no,
Mine's
listen,
just
everything in its own place. And remember, first I got to look at Ms. Amanda's and was flipping through all her photos, which I have to say the scenery in her photos was absolutely spectacular, which I think enhanced, the rest of Ms. Amanda because it was, that whole Midwest shit. So it was beautiful, absolutely, absolutely beautiful. Like no lie, no exaggeration. It was really, really beautiful. Because I'm like, is that like a beat down barn? Like what the fuck is that? But it was gorgeous. It was really gorgeous. And then she's like, but wait, Cole's got one too. And I'm like, what? It was kind of one of
yeah.
those, but wait, there's more.
Yeah.
And so when we pulled out Cole's, I'm like, ooh, okay. And let me just say this: it's not what you think. You see more of Ms. Amanda. Cole's was different, but it was still one of those where you're like, okay. Like we were literally going, I like this month more than that month, but I like this and I like that. So get you a calendar is all I'm saying. Get you a calendar. Because I loved it. Like I've been contemplating, and you guys really made me want to do a calendar. I might actually do a calendar. We'll see. But anywho, I want to thank you so much, friends, because this year everybody that I bring on is more than likely going to be a personal friend of mine, so I can talk shit and whatnot. So I want to thank you, friends, for coming to the show, for the first time since I've known you, which I'm like, that's my fault because I haven't been doing the show. And again, I'm gonna say publicly, I'm mad as F. Y'all ain't gonna be in Miami. We've already discussed why, so I'm not gonna say it publicly why I'm mad. But I wish you much success on Crazy Vegas nights.
Thank
And
you.
I'll see you again in Orlando. Oh my God.
In Orlando.
Oh my God. Michael will kill me. So
Right.
you guys are nominated for multiple ASN Lifestyle Awards. 5.
5 awards.
All
We
right,
are nominated.
run them down real quick.
We are nominated for Best Hotel Adult Takeover, Crazy Winter Nights. Best Trade Show Convention Expo, Crazy Winter Nights. Best Pro-Am, Casbah Studios. Best Social Group, Crazy Casbah. And Best Female Porn Star for Miss Amanda. So
Okay.
we are super proud. We're an 18-time nominated, 18-time finalist for ASN, 7-time award winner, 18-time nominated finalist award winner.
Shut up. Now
for-
you're bragging. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Anyway.
Right back there behind us, 2 awards.
See, and mine are out by the bar. So, because I've only got 3. But I put mine out. One of the ones I won was for my cover. So my cover is over my bar, and that's where the awards are, by the bar.
Yes.
So I can.
Yes. But you're the host, and it's awesome.
Thank you.
You make the show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So that is probably the next time I see you is Orlando.
Yes. Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. Well, folks, listen. I'm supposed to be trying to run a 60-minute show because on Wednesday I also do Boob Tube at 9:00, and I gotta hurry up. So anyway, thank you to Ms. Amanda, Dirty Santa, Cole, and Amanda. Appreciate you guys. Love you for doing the show. And I will post up all those links and websites and all the whatever that they said, so you can find all the stuff and all the people and do all the things and the whatnot. But in the meantime, thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. Love you.
Thank you. Love you. And for the rest of y'all watching, you got 23 minutes. This is your bathroom break. You better show up for Boob Tube. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, ma'am.
Show up for Boob Tube. In the meantime, I'll see you next week. Oh, wait, hold on. I gotta tell you who my next guest is. Wait. I changed things around while I was talking to y'all. So next week's guests are Carrie and Lyric from Erotic Sky magazine. These 2 boss babes. Let me tell you, you know how you stumble onto people, kind of like I stumbled into Amanda and Cole and didn't even know I had stumbled into them. Like I stumbled into these 2 women, and they are basically in the adult industry that is still very dominated by men, and they are making their own way with the magazine, with the video production, and I absolutely love them, and they will be on next week's show. Don't miss them. They accidentally picked a pre-record date, and then when they realized they weren't going to be live, they were like, no, we have to be live. And I'm like, I love that. So they will be next week. In the meantime,
Awesome.
I'll see you later. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.